The morning sun cast long shadows across the stone steps of Westminster Crown Court, where Lieutenant Nicholas Blackwood ascended with measured precision. His scarlet tunic, adorned with polished brass buttons, gleamed against the gray London sky, a striking contrast to the black-robed barristers hurrying past. At 32, Blackwood was an imposing figure, his 6'2" frame amplified by the towering bearskin cap, a symbol of the Queen's Guard that drew stares from passers-by. A child pointed, eyes wide with wonder, as his mother whispered about the historic regiment for Americans over 55, many with memories of military service or loved ones in uniform. Blackwood's presence evokes the pride of honor guards at Arlington or Dover Air Force Base, sentinels of duty and sacrifice. Blackwood hadn't planned to be here today. A witness in a routine burglary case, he expected a brief appearance to confirm his statement about a break-in he'd seen while off duty. But an urgent call from the Crown Prosecutor's office had summoned him, pulling him from his ceremonial duties at Buckingham Palace. Quite the entrance. A court clerk remarked as Blackwood presented his ID at security. "Duty called twice today," he replied, a faint smile fading into the neutral expression honed by years of standing motionless before crowds. A security officer, a former Royal Marine, nodded respectfully. "Always good to see one of ours maintaining standards," he said, recognizing the meticulous care in Blackwood's uniform. Scarlet brushed to perfection, belt gleaming, buttons mirror bright. Inside courtroom 7, dark oak paneling absorbed the hum of hushed conversations, and portraits of stern judges loomed overhead. Blackwood took a seat in the public gallery, his posture military precise. Back straight, hands on knees, feet angled just so, heads turned at the splash of scarlet among the somber robes, and spectators shifted, unconsciously granting him space. The clerk called, "All rise for the Honorable Judge Victor Harrington." And a man of 58 strode in, his wire-rimmed glasses glinting with the calculation of 25 years on the bench. Harrington was known for brilliance, but also for a caustic temper, especially toward those he deemed wasteful of his court's time. His thin lips rarely smiled, his authority absolute in this domain. The burglary case began routinely, with the prosecutor outlining charges against the defendant, Michael Morrison, Blackwood. The fourth witness expected to testify briefly, yet Harrington's gaze kept drifting to him. His questions to earlier witnesses distracted, his usual sharpness dulled. Among the gallery, Robert Thompson, a retired U.S. Army veteran, visiting London, watched closely. At 67, with a Silver Star pin on his lapel, he felt a kinship with Blackwood's disciplined bearing, a reminder of his own days in uniform. Beside him, Ellen Carter, a 60-year-old American teacher, whispered to her husband, "He's like our honor guards back home." Midway through the second witness, Harrington slammed his gavel, silencing the prosecutor. "I must address a matter of decorum," he announced, his eyes locking onto Blackwood. "You there? In the costume. Explain your attire in my courtroom." A stunned silence fell. Blackwood rose, his voice steady. "Lieutenant Nicholas Blackwood, Queen's Guard, 3rd Battalion. I'm on active duty and required to wear this uniform when representing the regiment." Harrington sneered. "A court of law, not a tourist attraction. That theatrical hat seems designed to distract, not respect." The insult stung, but Blackwood remained composed. "The bearskin cap is part of the ceremonial uniform established by royal decree in 1815. I'd be out of uniform without it." Harrington's tone dripped with disdain. "Ceremonial. A fitting word for pageantry, not substance. Does your training extend beyond marching and standing still?" Murmurs rippled through the gallery. Thompson's jaw tightened. He'd faced similar mockery in his youth. "Dismissed as just a soldier," Blackwood answered evenly. "My training includes tactical and legal education, including the Military Justice Act and civilian military jurisdiction." Harrington's face reddened. "Remove that ridiculous hat. Or does military discipline not include courtroom respect?" Blackwood stood firm. "King's regulations require headgear indoors when on ceremonial duty." "Sire." The judge leaned forward, his voice venomous. "In my courtroom, my authority supersedes your regulations. Your responses border on insolence." The prosecutor rose. "Your Honor, Lieutenant Blackwood is a vital witness." Harrington cut him off. "Sit down. Mr. Palmer, or you'll join him." Turning back, he spat. "Do you struggle to think for yourself after years of blind obedience? Or were you chosen for guard duty because of it?" The courtroom gasped. Ellen gripped her husband's arm, whispering, "That's unfair." Thompson nodded, his mind flashing to veterans' halls where such disrespect would spark outrage. Blackwood's voice remained calm. "British military service emphasizes discipline and critical thinking. The Queen's Guard are selected for exemplary records, many with combat experience." Harrington laughed, a cold, dismissive sound. "A rehearsed speech to match the costume, and those ribbons, participation awards for standing still." Blackwood's response was measured. The Distinguished Service Cross was for evacuating civilians under fire and helmets. The Queen's Gallantry Medal was for disarming an explosive near a school. He didn't mention the Afghan heat, the sniper fire, or the 37 minutes spent defusing a bomb. His hands steady, despite the risk to 200 children. Those memories lived in his nightmares, private burdens that forged the man now mocked. Thompson sat straighter, pride swelling for a fellow soldier. Ellen's eyes misted. Her brother, a Vietnam vet, had carried similar unseen scars. Harrington's sarcasm deepened. "Combat fairy tales don't impress me. Ceremonial duties are for men who missed something vital in their development." Blackwood cited law, Article 68 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, recognizes ceremonial roles as vital for public trust. The European Court of Human Rights upheld this in Hemingsfear. It's at a pot. UK, 2007. Harrington stood, furious. "Are you lecturing me on law? Toy soldier, I've forgotten more than you'll ever know." Blackwood replied, "I'm responding with facts, Your Honor." The judge's voice rose. "I find your presence and manner contemptuous. I hold you in contempt." The prosecutor leapt up. "On what grounds?" "The lieutenant has been respectful." Harrington shouted. "The grounds are that I am the presiding judge." Blackwood countered. "The Contempt of Court Act of 1981 requires willful disrespect or obstruction. I've been neither." Harrington jabbed a finger. "Questioning my authority is contempt," Blackwood suggested calmly. "Your Honor might consult Section 14 of the Judicial Conduct Guidelines on temperament and impartiality." Harrington's fury exploded. "How dare you cite guidelines to me?" In a reckless impulse, he hurled his gavel at Blackwood. Gasps echoed as the wooden projectile flew. With reflexes honed in combat, Blackwood caught it mid-air, his gloved hand steady. Silence gripped the courtroom. Blackwood placed the gavel on a table, his voice unwavering. "That was assault on a serving soldier, a criminal offense under Section 39 of the Criminal Justice Act. It also violates Section 27 of the Courts Act for judicial misconduct." Removing his bearskin cap, Blackwood revealed close-cropped hair and a new authority. "Lieutenant Nicholas Blackwood, Queen's Guard, 3rd Battalion. Before the military, I was a barrister with the Judge Advocate General's Corps, with a first-class law degree from Oxford, specializing in military jurisprudence." The courtroom reeled. Harrington paled, realizing he'd misjudged his target. "I maintain my legal credentials." Blackwood continued, "and recognized Your Honor's actions as violations of criminal and judicial ethics." Turning to security, Blackwood stated, "You witnessed an unprovoked assault, a Category 2 offense under the Judicial Code, requiring intervention." Harrington sputtered, "I'm the presiding judge." "You can't," Blackwood interrupted. "Section 31 of the Courts Act suspends jurisdictional protections when a judge commits a crime in court. The Judicial Conduct Investigations Office set precedent in Judge Harlow's 2016 removal." He nodded to the court recorder. "The transcript documents the insults and assault." Two veterans in the gallery stood. Commander William Hastings, retired Royal Navy, said one. "I confirm Lieutenant Blackwood's account." Colonel James Rutherford, Royal Marines, added the other. "I'll provide a statement." Thompson, the American veteran, leaned forward, whispering to Ellen, "This is justice." Her husband nodded. It reminded him of a time he'd stood up to a bullying officer, a small victory for principle. The courtroom doors opened, and Judge Elizabeth Chamberlain, the chief magistrate, entered. "I received an urgent alert," she said, assessing the tension. The recorder spoke. "Judge Harrington insulted a military witness and threw his gavel at him." Chamberlain scanned the transcript, her expression grave. "Security. Escort Judge Harrington to my chambers. He's relieved pending investigation." Harrington protested. "Elizabeth, this is disproportionate." She replied, "The transcript speaks for itself. Assaulting a witness and disparaging service is beyond a lapse." As Harrington was led away, his shoulders slumped, his 25-year career unraveling. Chamberlain addressed Blackwood. "On behalf of the judiciary, I apologize. Your service deserves respect." Blackwood inclined his head. "Thank you, Your Honor. I believe this isn't representative of the bench." Checking his watch, he added, "With permission, I'm due at Buckingham Palace in 40 minutes. Chamberlain nodded. "Your statement can wait." Court adjourned. Blackwood departed, the veteran saluting as he passed. At Buckingham Palace, he took his post, tourists snapping photos, unaware of the morning's drama. The irony wasn't lost on him, but his expression remained impassive. Back at court, the burglary case was reassigned, and Harrington faced investigation. The recorder's transcript, now evidence, fueled a high-profile misconduct case. By evening, barristers shared stories of Harrington's past intimidation, painting a pattern that threatened his career. The incident's impact rippled beyond London. Thompson, inspired, wrote to his VFW post in Ohio, proposing honor stands. Vigils where veterans greet fallen soldiers at airports, mirroring Blackwood's dignity. The idea spread, with communities in Texas and Virginia adopting similar tributes. Ellen's school launched a Veterans Voices project, collecting stories from local heroes. Her students, moved by Blackwood's story, interviewed a Korean War vet, preserving his legacy. For Americans over 55, Blackwood's stand is a beacon. Many, like Thompson, have faced or fought disrespect toward veterans. The courtroom clash recalls moments of unity, post-911 rallies, Memorial Day parades, where communities honor sacrifice. Blackwood's composure reflects the resolve of those who've advocated for VA benefits or maintained memorials. The veteran support in court mirrors VFW halls, where camaraderie fuels justice. The story challenges us. What values deserve defense in a rushed world? For older Americans, it's taps at funerals, Legion fundraisers, or teaching kids about D-Day. Blackwood's legal acumen, hidden behind his costume, reminds us not to judge by appearances. His medals, earned in fire, echo the unseen burdens of veterans everywhere. You can honor this legacy. Volunteer at a VA hospital. Donate to the Wounded Warrior Project, or share a veteran's story with your grandkids. What moments of standing firm have shaped you? How do you keep sacrifice alive in your community? Your actions ensure heroes like Blackwood and the veterans you know endure.